Hi, in this video, we are going to be going over how to multiply a fraction by a fraction. We are going to be drawing out this process, and then at the end, I will show you the shortcut trick, but it's really important to understand visually how to split up a fraction by a fraction. The problem we are going to be going through today is the one right on my poster. It is 1/3 times 3/4 or 1/3 of 3/4. Remember, when we are multiplying a fraction by a fraction, we are taking part of a part. So it's going to end up with a smaller fraction. A good thing to kind of visualize in your brain is talking about food because we all love food. So we're going to be looking at our pan of brownies. We're going to be taking part of that part that we started with. The first thing we are going to do is draw our whole. In this case, it is just one shape. We are going to split it up into 3/4. Now I'm going to use a different color so it sticks out, but you don't have to at home. Take a noticing on how I draw or shade in my 3/4. You might want to do this the same way just so it helps you in future steps. I split my whole into 3/4 and then I colored it in with a different color and with these diagonal lines. So if you have colors at home that you can be using, I would highly recommend doing these with two different colors so that they stick out, okay? The next step, we are now going to split our whole into thirds because we're going to look at 1/3 of 3/4. Go ahead and do that and I'll show you how to color it in. So you may have noticed I split my fourths into vertical lines and I split my thirds into horizontal lines. You're going to have to do this, switch them around, otherwise you're just going to have a bunch of lines in the same place. The next thing we're going to do, we are going to shade in 1/3 of our whole. So I'm going to pick one of these horizontal lines and shade it in with a different color. I'm going to do this all the way across so that you can see how it should look as well. So I went ahead and shaded in my 1/3 all the way across. Now there's two things we are going to do. First thing, we are going to take a noticing how many new total pieces do I have. I can literally count out how many they have or look at it like an array and think 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3. There are 12 new pieces. That is our new denominator. We took our whole and we split it into 12 equal pieces. Now this is where using two different colors comes in handy. We are going to take a noticing on how many of my pieces have both purple and green or whatever two colors you're using. So I'm going to notice 1, 2, 3. That means that our numerator is 3. You also may have noticed that I use just diagonal lines to color in my fractions. You may want to do this as well. When we start like really coloring it in, it can be really confusing to notice which ones have both those colors in. So I would suggest using those diagonal lines and two different colors. If you don't have two different colors, another great thing to do is if you noticed I did diagonals going one way, and then when I came in with my other fraction, I did those diagonals the other way. So you would be looking for how many of those squares have diagonals going both ways. All right, once you understand visually how multiplying a fraction by a fraction is, you can use a shortcut. So what you're going to do, you're going to write out 1/3 times 3/4, and I always like to add of just to remind my brain we're doing part of a part. So here's a shortcut. All you have to do is multiply across. 1 times 3, and then 3 times 4. Once again, we get 3. We can also take this a step further and think about how we can reduce 3/12. We are going to think about what can you divide both 3 and 12 by. I'm going to think about 3 first because it's a smaller digit. Well, 3 can only be divided by 3 and 1. Well, 12 can be divided by 3, so I'm going to divide both my numerator and denominator by 3 to reduce my fraction. After I divide both by 3, I end up with my reduced fraction of 1/4. Now this is going a step further, but I really want you to focus on visually drawing out the multiplying a fraction by a fraction so you can see how it looks, and then we can start working on the shortcut, and then we can start working on reducing our fraction if we need to. So in the last video, we had a story problem to solve, and I'll remind you what it was. So it was, in 1 week, Ziggy ate 1/6 of a bag of dog treats. The next week, he ate 2/4 of that same bag. How much of the entire bag did Ziggy eat in all? So I went ahead and made our chart from before to kind of show those steps. And our total answer is he ate 8/12 or 2/3 of a bag of dog treats. Too many treats. For this video, I'm going to challenge you guys to use our new strategy and to just simply solve 1/4 times 2/5, or really 1/4 of 2/5. If you can write a word problem, even better, but make sure you're drawing it out using those diagonal lines so that you can visually see what your answer is. Good luck, and the answer will be in the next video.